Hi there, I'm Swholli, and you might know me from making Swholli's movie reviews. And that's that's what I do, okay? So, what I'm going to do for you today is, as a special for Brockrand Comics web zone, I'm going to be showing you the behind the scenes, how I make Swholli reviews. Just, if you've ever wondered the process that I take to make these, and whether or not you think, hey, could I do this? Well, I think you can. And I'm going to show you exactly how simplistic it is, the bullshit that I'm able to pull off and call a video that gets over 30,000 views. Okay? This is amazing. Let's just start, alright?
So to start a movie review is very simple. Now normally you'd have a blank canvas, but in this case we're going to talk about a little bit of the movie review process. So, let's start at the very beginning of a movie review, alright? The absolute very beginning is writing. Now, here is Star Wars right now. This is only a page. I haven't finished the whole thing, and because I've only written the intro, I still have to do a lot of stuff, because I'm going to try to do all 6 movies, in the course of time. But, let's just take an example. Here's the last video, Jurassic Park. Will Jurassic Park be good? This was 6 pages long, I took a look at it, and I went and I just wrote what I could, and that was it. And then here's Twilight. Twilight, I wrote 7 pages. 7 pages of just stuff to say about Twilight. I also like to, I divide things up into little categories that I think that really helps too, because it's like, I want to talk about the plot, well, I talk about the plot in the first part. And then I want to talk about just the characters, well, I talk about the characters in the second part. And then I want to talk about, what did I talk about? Oh, conclusion about this because I was going to do a series. I mean, I still am. I will finish this eventually. I'll do Twilight and New Moon. And, so that's how I get to that. I mean, let's look at even God's Not Dead. Like, this is the first one I ever made. This is 9 pages. That's 45 minutes. So if you start writing, I didn't even bother to format it. I just wrote what I was thinking. I wrote, because that's the thing. If you know a lot about movie structure, if you know a lot about how movies are made, then you should be pretty good about just go out there and write out what it is you liked and didn't like and just put it down into words. And go ahead, you don't have to be fancy. You're not publishing this anywhere. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to do anything fancy about it. You can just, do whatever. Write it out however you want. And then read it.
So we're going to want to record what we've written, right? If you've written your shit, we're going to record it. Because if you record it, you gotta record it. Because how else are people going to hear it? So you pull up your recording software, and you come into it, and you take what you've written, and you plop it on a screen. I have 3 screens. I just happen to have 3 screens. If you only have 1 screen, that's fine. You can do that Windows thing where you put one on one side, one on the other, and have the recording program and the writing going at the same time. Really, it's up to you. And then you hit record, and you bring up your writing, and you start talking. You read your page as if though, and give it just a little enthusiasm. Just read it like you're reading it to a friend. Just start out and just be like, okay, so here's my line is one of sci-fi's greatest movie editions and overall one of the greatest movie series of all time. That's what I have to say. So I wrote that line, being absolutely positively truthful about what I was saying. I was saying one of sci-fi's greatest movie editions. So I'm going to give it that same kind of energy in order to make people understand that I'm fucking excited about what I'm saying. Because people, if they're going to listen to your opinions, they want to know that you're excited about your own opinions. Because if you're not excited about what you're saying, they're going to find you disingenuous. And if you're disingenuous, then they're going to be like, well, you're just a fucking idiot. So you start recording, you've got your thing, and you go, one of sci-fi's greatest movie editions and overall one of the greatest movie series of all time. It's a story of daring heroes, evil empires, love, and spirituality. It's an epic quest that spreads our depths of imagination and is one of the greatest modern examples of the monomythical archetype that is the hero's journey. It's a pop culture icon spanning generations of fans, young and old alike. And it's a series of films that have been so dearly loved and debated that it's hard to say anything new about them. So I guess that's what I'm going to try and do. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. You read the line now. And that's it. That's all there is. Just read it with conviction. And if you don't feel like you have a voice, I've spent years trying to develop what I think sounds like a good voice, because I've always been into voice acting. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but whatever. Even if you don't have a great voice, the best thing you can do is to be clear. And this is what's called the Cleveland newscaster voice, which has been named after, for some reason, because here in Ohio, apparently, we have the most non-altered English accent that there is. So, if you gotta read it and you don't know how to put any inflection into it, at least be clear. And that's how, here's how you could read it like this. It's like, just pretend you're on the news. One of sci-fi's greatest movie editions and overall one of the general greatest movie series of all time. It's a story of daring heroes, evil empires, love, and spirituality. It's an epic quest that spreads our depth of imagination as one of the greatest modern examples of the monomythical archetype that is the hero's journey. It's a pop culture icon spanning generations of fans, young and old alike. And it's a series of films that have been so dearly loved and debated that really saying anything new would be hard. See, that time I read it exactly on the script. I didn't ad-lib at all. I did ad-lib the first time. I do tend to, make stuff up even after I've written it. But really, that's the idea. That's what you want to accomplish. Is just making sure that your voice is as clear as it can be, so that when you read your words, people hear them and go, I understand what you're saying. That's all it is. So if you can do it. Anyone can do it. I promise you. Even you at home could do this.
So that was the recording process. At that point you're going to have a wave, or, waveform like this, and you can use any program. I use Adobe Audition. You can use Audacity, which is free, and I'm not sure if there's a video editing program that's free. I'm sure there is. If you go out there, you could probably find something. I mean, it might not do as much as what Adobe Premiere might do, but you could find all sorts of things, and you can obviously Audition, sound recording, that's easy. And then, so once you've recorded your sound, once you've written it all out, now it's time to put it into the editor, like this, then you've got, when I start, actually, what it'll look like is, I'll come out here just to show you, this is blank, I'll show you exactly what it just looks like when you first, because I save everything as takes, I don't know why I just do, so my take, I'll drag it out onto the timeline, this is what I could start with, this is what I would most likely start with. I've got, all of this talking, and nothing going on. And one of the biggest problems I was having for a while, when I was making movie reviews, was people were complaining about these blank spaces here. They were saying you're having too much, just blank emptiness where it's just talking. And that could work. I mean, if you really truly want to do that, though, if you want it to be just audio, which I didn't, but I should have, been smarter about this, but if you want it to be just audio, then you make a podcast, okay? You go in and really you read everything you want to say, and you structure it a little better, and then you edit it through here. You take something out and I don't like that, or I made a mistake here, so fuck that. And then, and then you take it all out until you've got what is essentially, your crisp, clean audio, and it's like, and so you take that and you go and you put that out on the internet as just a sound file, because you don't need to add anything. And that's where I made a mistake. If you're going to do a video like me, then you've got to maybe, put in some images. So here's where I've started working on this chunk, because if you've noticed, I haven't really finished this yet, so...
Sci-fi's greatest movie editions, and overall one of the general greatest movie series of all time.
What I did was, I searched for, an image. Let me pull up what I was doing. Okay, yeah, I go to Google, and, wow, that's totally how you spell it. I know I can just, but whatever. I go to Google, and I'll type in, what did I type? Oh, yeah, I wanted to do a joke because I couldn't really find anything, so I was like, what if I just said, because it's sci-fi, like, oh, haha, sci-fi doesn't make any good movies. They used to be sci-fi, they made good movies, now they just kind of do fucking Sharknado and everything. So I was like, well, I'll just go find the sci-fi logo. So that's what I did, I found a sci-fi logo, and I pulled it in here, and I just said, boop, there it is, I mean, because I'm making a video that's like, I mean, I monetize my videos, but I'm not like selling them mass scale, I'm not putting them on the market with... it's okay to just Google image stuff. Like, I mean, unless you're going to use something specifically like someone's artwork or something that someone's made that it was intended to be viewed, then, you know, don't do that unless you're just kind of referencing it. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm just referencing these things. So it's not a huge deal to just say, oh, look, it's this Discovery Channel. Obviously, everyone knows what the Discovery Channel logo is. Everyone knows I didn't make it. It's okay to just plop it in here and be like, oh, it's only there for like 20 seconds, and then boom, your joke's over. And then it's like, oh,
one of the
greatest movies of all time. You know, Entertainment Weekly would have the greatest movies of all time. That makes sense. And then boom, the joke is over. And so that's my process. That's how I tend to do it. I mean, unless I make my own graphics, which, if you'll see here, I've started drawing something. And I was actually, this is the second time I've done this, but the original take had me drawing this character for you to see how I would draw cartoons in my thing, because you've seen that I have done that. And this is we'll make this Luke Skywalker here, and he has, he has Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, which looks a lot like the current Darth Vader lightsaber, if I remember, but... oh, I keep doing that. I keep selecting the wrong dang old color there. But yeah, so that's the goal. If if you need your own images, make your own images. If you plan on making if you don't want to fucking talk and you want to just you plop it in and you do want to put it on YouTube as just a podcast, but it's then that's fine. Then make your own images and just pull them in and pull them in like that, and just put them on top like that, and stretch them out so that's your whole thing. Like, no one's gonna care if you do this. But I mean, that's just a choice. That's up to you. Really, that's the whole process. I mean, aside from editing, like if you don't know certain editing techniques, I could make a separate video about editing, but that's not what this is about. I just wanted to show you my process, my way of doing things, and understanding that it is possible for anyone to do this. Like, what I'm saying about writing, like what I'm saying about all of this, is that just remember, you can do really anything you want to do. Where did I put it? Here we go. Just look. I took notes. I took notes while I was watching the movie. That's all you have to do. Just while you watch a movie, just write down the things that pop into your head. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it's an observation. Maybe it's a witty criticism. It doesn't matter. Just write it down, and then when you're done, write it out, just flesh it out a bit. Just basically like you're writing a paper for school, but it's something that you're passionate about. If you like movies, it shouldn't feel like writing a paper. It should feel like you're writing a book. It should feel like you're writing this great, like, hey, look, this is how I want to talk about this. This is, it doesn't even have to be funny. It doesn't even have to be witty. That's just something I've chose to try and do, and, oh, that's a spelling error. And I've chosen to try and make mine funny. But you don't have to. They don't have to be funny. They can be completely, strangely enough, the word that I'd misspelled, they could be completely, whatever you want. They could be as serious as Roger Ebert's, reviews were, or they can be as hilarious as fucking, well, I'm not going to say me, but whoever you like to watch. It's okay to just write things down and read them out loud and record that and then put it in a video. Because that's all I do. Like, there's no special magical thing about what I do. What I do is I write it down and I edit it out and I make it, into something that's like watchable. And if you don't know how to make something watchable,
The year is 1999.
That's fine. But that's a separate tutorial. That's a separate, something that I could go into for hours, and I don't want to bore you to death. I've already probably taken up too much of your time with this. Hopefully, I'll edit it all down and make it something cohesive. So, this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm doing this as a way of saying, hey, go out there, make stuff, be good at it. I promise you, even if you fail, go ahead and keep trying. You will get there. You can be as cool as me, because I'm so cool. Oh my god, you can be so fucking cool. Look at how fucking cool I am with my flower. Holy shit, look how cool I am.